Okay. So, by Lord Sri Krishna's grace, we are in the chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, which is basically the Jnana Yogam, and then Krishna is coming into the Karma Yogam slowly into that. So, we have seen up to verse number 30. 30, and we said that from verse number 11 to verse number 30, the 20 verses are the crux of the Sankhya Yogam or the Jnana Yogam, by which the Atma Tattvam was very well expounded to by Lord Sri Krishna, which we have seen. So now what Bhagavan is going to go from verse number 31 slowly is getting Arjuna to practice the Karma Yoga. So I'll give you a brief introduction before we go into this. Now the kind of message from Lord Sri Krishna will slightly change in the sense that he will bring Krishna into the context. Yes, I have heard. So we place ourselves in Arjuna's context, saying that, yes, I have now heard all of this Tattvam, right from Nasato Vidyate, Bhavaha, Atma Tattvam, everything. I'm so now in peace and tranquil. Now what do I do? How do I act? So the starting point Krishna wants to give. And to give that starting point, what Krishna wants to give is from dharma. Because karma and dharma is the governance factor for all the karma. So that is why our religion itself is called Sanatana Dharma. That dharma is not religion, it cannot be defined by any words. Because everything has got a dharma in this world. Even a small ant has got its dharma to a tree and everything. So, they are all in a synchronous nature in this whole world. It's a harmonious ecosystem balance that it is governed. So, in this regulatory events, that how an individual would conduct is all about this Sanatana Dharma. So, Krishna will start with the first word itself in this from 31 as Swadharma. Swadharma means in your individual context, because everything, if you see that, even when the jnanam, you always inquired from yourself. And then we slowly expanded to your kith and kin and your relation with others and with the world and with the Ishvara. That's how we got the knowledge. And same way, dharma also starts from individual context. Once I know that governing factor, how I am governed, to be governed with everyone, then you can understand the whole religion or the one. There's no point in just understanding the religion from top to bottom. Yeah, the religion and everything is going from oneself to the, so it's basically an expansive knowledge and expansive governance. So that's what Krishna wants to start the first word itself as Swadharma, meaning to say an individual dharma. So the Krishna's whole message, how he will progress through in this class today is, once he will start into this Swadharma of your individual context. And we cannot function in this Swadharma until we get some good and bad, because we are still in that attached or in that entangled nature. It's not that we can just straight away get out of it. So Krishna knows that. So he says, look, in ongoing verses here, he will say, look, yes, you need to have that ability to do your karma. For doing the ability, you need the power in your physical power, your mental power, your intellect power, and money. That's very important, that you need to have the house and your means of going, or everybody, they need to have that food and everything. That's all artham. Artham means that's it, wealth, everything. So Krishna will start in this one to say, yes, as a king, you need this, as for an individual. So, the Swadharmam is also for the thing that you need the daily comfort. So that's the beauty of Gita, that it says, yes, it's not that you are trying to more entangle, that have the minimum that is required for you to be part of the governing nature, because the whole governance is all for everybody's needs. So once you are taken care of your need, you can take care of others' needs, as we know. So Krishna will also give in that one nature, saying that, to perform this swadharma or your karma, how you need these ones. And these needs are fulfilled by your own punya and papa as well. So what we experience today as good or bad, ugly or anything, is all due to the accumulated, self-accumulated. not that somebody has put it into us. So it's all basket of that punya and papa that we carry together. That is not negated by anybody in this world. And every religion has got that thing, sin, and they call different one, or punya, or they give you everything. So our concept here does not go totally away from there. So Krishna says, yes, you need to have that with a scope that is really defined for the governance. So he will address that nature as well in today's one. And then having said that one, that you need this for your little bit, because it's not only this, we don't know whether we will, the aim is to get out of this knowledge and out of this in this birth, which is certainly possible, but there's a factor it cannot be given for everybody, like for the 7.54 billion people. So Krishna knows that this is for most of them. Maybe they have to even take few more births or few, or the number, X number of births to finish that. So you need to carry that punya towards all this in a progressive manner, in an ascending ladder. So he addresses that nature in this. And then going from there, he would then slowly say, look, having said that, where you draw a line. So he will finish by saying, look, the drawing the line of where you want and where you disengage, is that karma yoga or the nishkama karma yoga comes. So the progressive nature is, first is from adharma to dharma. Lots of adharma to dharma. Then from dharma, as such, a person who is following the dharma, even though it could be for his own self, that itself is a kind of a karma yoga as well. But we call that what is called sakama karma yoga, just as a term. Sakama karma yoga means that there is some individual desire which is morally, legally, by the scriptures is fulfilled. That is sakama karma yoga. These are only relatively we are putting it in this vyavaharika drishti. Then as he has got that sakama karma yoga, he progresses next into a nishkama karma yoga, where he says, look, what is the futility of these ones? Whatever I have desired, and this roof and this bed and everything, it is okay. It is to a certain extent. So Krishna takes him into nishkama karma yoga, because that knowledge starts working, the tattva jnanam, and it automatically goes. You don't draw a circle or you don't draw a balance. The fence automatically comes, So that's what Krishna takes him to the nishkama karma yoga. And in the nishkama karma yoga, that he has ripened a lot by doing this selfless action, because he has known that his standpoint is atma akarta. So, he's thinking, for example, when we do this, very, very simple thought, that even from a Sanskrit, we say, we have active voice and passive voice. Right? Like, for example, even we say, yes, I will be doing the puja today. It's an active voice. Oh, yes, the puja will be done by me today. It's a passive voice. But what happens is, even in the thought in a passive sense, in Sanskrit, we say karmani. Karmani means one is called kartari vakyam, one is called karmani. One is active voice, passive voice. Even he says, even when you think in passive action, oh yeah, the puja will be done by me, there is certainly a detachment comes. Because it is that ahankaram slowly goes, I am going to do the, no, Krishna, today the puja will be done by me. So, but you see that one, oh yeah, the children will be fed by me. Oh, they will be taken care by me, but in the sense that they will be taken care, they will be done, or I will, in that I goes away. The bye, at the end becomes bye. So that these are certain things what comes in this whole nishkama karma yoga. I'm just saying from a thoughtful process. So, because what happens is then everything is done as a samarpanam to Krishna. That, Ishvara arpanam. That is, yeah, I am, this is being done by his will. Then it goes to by his will, by his desire. So that's what Krishna will come into this as well, into going through this. So it's a kind of a brief introduction I've given into what we will go through this one. So we will now start with this Swadharma. Okay. So Devinaji, you want to chant after me? The verse number 31. Okay. Swadharmamapi chavekshya. Oh, sorry, I've not unmuted you. Okay. 1 second. Yeah. Okay, try now, Devinaji.
Swadharmapi chavekshya. Swadharmapi.
No, you finished tuma. Swadharmamapi. Swadharmamapi. Try again.
Swadharmapi chavekshya. Swadharmapi chavekshya.
Navikampitu
Navikampitu marhasi.
Very good. Dharmyadi yuddha shreyonyat.
Dharmya.
It's a bit, 1 second. It is a bit difficult. I'll break it. Dharmyadi.
Dharmyadhi.
Yuddha shreyonyat.
Yudhya cheyon.
Yat.
Yudhya
Shreyonyat.
yodha.
That yes, that letter yes is there, just forget it. That's called avagraha. Wherever there is a letter like that inverted yes, that's called avagraha. That you just can totally ignore it. That's only for to get the meaning that there is a hidden a there, meaning to say shreyaha anyat. So that akaram, so when you chant it, you just ignore it. So you chant it as yuddha shreyonyat.
Yudhya cheyon.
Yat. Again try
Yudhya
yon yat. Very good. Now take it together. No, we'll take from Dharmyadi yuddha shreyonyat.
Dharmyadhi yuddha cheyon.
Very good. Once more, please.
Dharmyadhi yuddha cheyon.
Very good. Kshatriyasya na vidyate.
Kshatriyasya na vidyate. Kshatriyasya na vidyate.
Okay. So that is the first letter here is cha, right? Cha means and. So and is progressively. That the cha and itself says that there is a progression from one to another. Progression from jnana yogam into karma yogam, or in a vyavaharika drishti, or in a transactional nature. So he's telling Arjuna, and though I have taught you all the Sankhya Yoga, now come to a little bit to act. Now trying to act, Arjuna. Cha. And then what he says, how do you going to act, Arjuna? Swadharmam. So number 2, swadharmam. So swadharmam is what I said, an individual act of your duty bound action. So that is why Sanatana Dharmam is duty bound, duty based. These are the 2 words you can always sing. Duty bound, duty based. This religion is purely duty bound and duty based. Okay. So swadharmam, Anveksha, the third word is aveksha. Aveksha means putting that into the context. Swadharmam aveksha. Put yourself in the context of swadharmam. Aveksha means itself, ik means to see. Aveksha means have the vision of the context. Keeping that swadharmam in the context, Arjuna. Aveksha, api to. Number 5, vikampitum. Vikampiti means to get shaken. Vikampitum. Kampitum means shaking. Vikampitum means you are totally now, because Sidanti Mavagatrani, he said all that, right? So Bhagavan says, vikampitum na arhasi. Na arhasi means there is no reason for you to be shaken. So even if looking at the context of your swadharma, there is no reason that you should be getting shaken like that. When you said Sidanti Mavagatrani, Mukam cha Parisushyati, Vepatusya Sarirem, all those things. And he says, because why? Number 8, he becomes the because I'll tell you later. Okay, it's a grammatical thing. That is dharmyat he means because he is indeed because kshatriyasya, number 9, because you are a warrior. Kshatriyasya, to the kshatriya of you, a kshatriya. Number 10, dharmyat yuddhat. These two are 10 and 11 too. That means dharma yuddhat, for a war that is just. That's very important. Not any war. Dharma yuddhat. You have a war which is very rightful, which has to be fought against evil forces, which is a dharma yuddhat. Dharma yuddhat. Number 12, anyat. Dharma yuddhat, anything else apart from that. Okay, anyat, number 12. Shreyaha. Shreya means that it will be beneficial. Na vidyate. It never is going to become beneficial for you at all. Meaning to say, he's saying, even from a kshatriya's base, dharma yuddham is only your duty. And this is when Bhagavan is mentioning about Swadharmam here, he is keeping those 4 classes which were there during those times, when the whole governance was very easily put into a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, like that. Again, he will give it the Swadharma in chapter number 18 for people who have come. But having said that, I will again say here a little bit, because this particular Swadharma becomes a very confused one. When we read into Gita, it is fine. But we are all 7.54 billion in this world. Everybody is born into different country, different mother and father. We have grown up from somewhere. We have learned so many things. Then our entanglement are so different. Duties are different. So how can I affix my Swadharma to see whether, how can I have some kind of a monitor, something to say whether how should I go? It's a bit of a trick. I mean, it's a bit of a very guided. You need guide. We always look for some guide. So the scripture says, Shruti Pramanam eva Swadharmam. And he will say in the chapter 17 as well. But then how can we read all that one? Because there is so many Manusmriti is there, that is there, this is there, we can't. And then you have Rashtriya Dharma. So there what Krishna again says is, see, everybody is born with some inherent nature. And the governance is all with that inherent nature. That you are born with an inherent nature is how you are born to your set of parents, or to your set in the place, the country you are born, or that house you are there, the school we have gone, the education that we have got, the husband or wife that you're married. Everything is gone because of your swabhavam. So Swadharmam is completely closely aligned to a Swabhavam. Swabhavam means that which is also an internal governing nature. So what Krishna says is, look, you have to then analyze that internal governing nature and the external governing nature. When they both are rightly married and they are aligned, everything is synchronous. So that is why Gita Shastram gives you that kind of an indication. We'll see that we saw that in 18 as well. And that today, yes, these 4 categories may never be applicable, may not be, because there are no kings. Everything is starting from a king. Unless there is a Kshatriya, then everything can come. But having said that, there is some function that is happening. So all that Krishna wants to say is, you make your judgment into that one and see how much of that dharma that you can put it into your context. That's what one thing we can take from the Swadharma here. And this is what all the Swamijis, all the great saints, all the great Mahans, they come and say. And in all the thing is, if we keep the final aim in place, then these small things to whether should I eat this is my Swadharma, or whether should I see this movie is my Swadharma, all the things will become very meaningless. Because the end goal is to attain moksha. End goal is for me to get detached. If I can get detachment, that peace of mind by something, Bhagavan, that is my Swadharma. Because I know if I get too much of attachment, if I get too much of toiling into my mind, then certainly it is not my swabhavikam. That's not my swadharma. Those are the yardsticks that we get from Gita. Not exactly to say whether should I eat onion today or tomorrow garlic. Onion, garlic, everything will wither away once these ones are got it, because he will again come there with the satvika, rajasic, tamasic, because you know that you have to progress towards satvik, and you know there are satvik actions, satvik people, satvik food, everything brings. So that's where the Gita Shastram brings you that logical foundation. That's all I'm saying about Swadharma, not to get too much confused into that Swadharma in today's context. That Gita Shastram do address. That's all I wanted to say. And okay, so next one. Ganapati sir, would you like to chant after me? I just want to give chance to one people. I've unmuted you. Ganapati sir. Yeah. Okay, so this 33, if you can chant after me. Okay. Okay, I will chant once. Atache tvamimam dharyam. Oh, 32. Sorry, 32. Yadrichaya chopapannam. I can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself, sir. Sorry. Unmute yourself. Try to unmute now. Yes. Yadrichaya chopapannam.
Yadrichaya chopapannam. Yadrichaya chopapannam.
Swargadvaramapavritam.
Swargadvaramapavritam. Swargadvaramapavritam.
Sukinaha kshatriya partha.
Sukinaha kshatriya partha. Sukinaha kshatriya partha.
Labhante yuddhamidrisham.
Labhante yuddhamidrisham. Labhante yuddhamidrisham.
Very good, sir. So you see that I put one pause with the visarga pronounce this. Why means before ksha. Again, this is a grammatical pronunciation rule. Before ksha, if visarga, that is these two dots come, you have to stop there. So ksha says, hey, stop, don't pronounce, full pronounce, don't do any sandhi, means don't join. So that is why we have to say sukinaha, then kshatriya. Otherwise, if it was something else, we would have said sukina kshatriya, sukina par. So everything will join. But before ksha, when the visarga is there, you have to pause, meaning to say fully the pronounce has been done. So just a thing. Only in few places in Gita I'll get, or many, so just wording that. Again, chanting rules as we see. So here, so Arjuna, so from a Swadharma individual context, so Arjuna, sorry, Krishna wants to tell Arjuna, hey Partha, yad ichaya. Yad ichaya become yadrichaya. Yat ichaya means, yat here, yat means what? Yat is equal to the Ishvara. Yat ichaya means Ishvara ichaya. This is what became in Tamil, yatechaya. Tamil they say yatechaya, yatechaya. Yatechaya become this yadrichaya become yatechaya, but actually that yat ichaya is the Ishvara ichaya. Yat ichaya, upapannam. Upapannam means that it has now come forth. Utpatti, like utpatti, that it has come forth. Upapannam. What has come? Upapannam. Apavritam cha swargadwaram. 4, 5, and 6. Apavritam cha swargadwaram. Meaning say opened. Apavritam cha swargadwaram. That it has now opened the gates for you to be for the heaven. When you say heaven, both ihaloka, paraloka, that is in this world and to the other one, because for a kshatriya, this dharma yuddha, where it is an ultimate one, this is the one for you. Because if you're Krishna will say again more in this one, and this is what he says, that this is the for the total, because a kshatriya is the bhoga, he's got ultimate bhoga that he can have. He can have the servants he wants, he can give the menu he wants to eat, he can have the medical person as he wants, everything. So he says that kind of physical need of all need for you is taken care by this one. Okay, and that is what your swabhavikam. So he says that this Dharma Yuddha, by that Ishvara's grace, has now opened the doors for you. This is an opportune moment. What you're now trying to slip it, because they prepare for years and hundreds of 50, 20 years to get for that particular one. And that is now in your doorstep for you to the heaven. So that's what he's saying. Apavritam swargam. Swargam. Yuddham idrisham. 8 and idrisham yuddham 7 and 8. This kind of a war, battle, because this is Dharma Yuddham, that all the samadana, veda, dandam, everything has been done. And you know that I have gone for this, as a messenger, and you know that there was no other mean except this war. All doors of peace negotiations has been nullified. And also there are so many people dependent on you. If you were to now not fight, so many of them will be, millions and billions of people will be left into big torture. So, they're all, that is why it is a idrisham yuddham. Naban 9. Sukinaha kshatriya. Number 10. Sukinaha kshatriyaha. Meaning to say, that Sukinaha is an adjective for the Kshatriya. Kshatriya, these warriors, or this kingly people, the royal noble people, Kshatriyaha. Sukinaha, because you are destined to sit in that. Sorry?
Fortune.
Fortune. Yes. Sukinaha kshatriyaha labante. This is how they get it, because battles are won, and by which a kshatriya is recognized, by which you are entitled to get this bhogam, by which you are entitled. And so this is how you can earn it. There is no other way for you to earn for what you deserve to be as a kshatriya. So that's what Krishna is saying in this one. Okay, from his individual context. Because afterwards, even for you to, because he said, I will even go and beg alms. If your beg alming is not destined for you, where will you go? You can't commit suicide as well. That is also mahapapam. So the only way available, what Krishna says, is this yuddham. There is no way you can be an escapist from this. So nobody can escape from a swadharma. That is also one of the moral in this one. And 33. Okay. You want to chant after that? Okay. Oh, the Damayanti ji, you want to chant? I've unmuted you. 1 second. Yeah. Yes. Atache tvamimam dharmyam.
Atachetam mimam dharmam. Atachetam mimam dharmam.
No. Atache tvamimam dharmyam.
Atachetva mimam dharmam.
Dharmyam. Dharmam is different. Dharmyam is different. Dharmyam.
Atachetam mimam dharmyam.
Very good.
Atachetam mimam dharmyam.
Sangramam na karishyasi.
Sangramam na karishyasi. Sangramam na karishyasi.
Tata swadharmam kirtim cha.
Tata swadharmam kirtim cha. Tata swadharmam kirti cha.
Hitva papamabhapsyasi.
Hitva papamavapsyasi. Hitva papamavapsyasi.
Okay. So Krishna goes further to say, Atha, thereafter, from Atha and thereafter, now he is coming from another global perspective as well. What happens is Atha, number 2, imam dharmyam. This particular swadharmam, this yuddham, all of them, imam dharmyam, sangramam. Sangramam is also this battle, this particular fight, this particular yuddham, that is also a sangramam. Sangramam is this particular incident or occurrence, this event. So sangramam can also mean anything, but here the battle. Sangramam. Chet, that chet tvam, that 852 is chet tvam imam. Okay, chet tvam imam. So sangramam, number 5, tvam na, number 6, Number 7, karishyasi. Number 8, chet. Ata, what he's saying is, ata imam dharmyam sangramam tvam tvam na karishyasi chet. So this battle that it has come into occurrence, that if you don't do it, or if you don't fight, if you think so, chet, okay, chet. So if you think that if you can escape from this by not doing this, then he says, what happens? Because he is also giving the other side of it. What happens if you think that if you can't fight it, because he is still in his mind that is not gone. So he says, tataha, from that, number 10, swadharmam, that swadharmam, that what we know, swadharmam, then kirtim, all the fame and all the name that you have earned so far, like a Dhananjaya and all of them, cha, and 12, hitva. Hitva means you are now giving up all this by yourself, by not fighting. Hitva, now you are only doing it. You are killing that. Meaning hitva, kill, but here means what it says, you are just letting go of all of that. Hitva, not only that you are letting go of it, you will papam avapsasi. You will also incur sin. So in the previous one, he said what punyam you will get, and that if you don't do this action, you will accrue lot of sins. So this is what happens is, that's what happens in this in the actions that we do. There are certain actions we do by which it accrues. Every action has got it has to bear some fruit. The fruit has to be sometimes papam or a punyam. Okay, and there are some some actions we do, it neither gives us punyam, but if you don't do papam, there is also there. See, dharma is, that is why dharma is so intricate. Say, for example, we have to do Sandhya Vandanam. The Sandhya Vandanam is something that we do, or say even you do, sir, puja, or do thankful to do something you do. By doing that, what you get the punyam, there is no punyam really. But if I don't do it, it's got papam. Because it is a duty as a Brahmana that you're born, that you got this Upanayam, because that Sandhya Vandanam or whatever we do is for the goodness of the whole world. By you doing that, by doing the goodness to others, that's your duty. Now, for example, Sun Bhagavan is there. Look at Surya Bhagavan. He is giving the sun rays to all of us, by which everything nourishes. What does he get back? You think the little bit of water we give or something, can you give anything back to that Surya Bhagavan? Nothing. But why he does it? Like a duty. That's sometimes that's what you'll see in the chapter 3 when you come. So some actions give you papam if you do. If you don't do it, also you get papam. So that's what Krishna is alluding to Arjuna, saying that, look, at this moment, if you don't do this particular rightful duty at the right time, the right place, then you're certainly going to incur sin. That sin is very, very bad, because all that you might have earned, that will be lost. So these are just a contextual reference for us to take through Arjuna. Okay. Devina ji, you want to do a chant? I'll unmute you. Next one. I asked you to unmute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So 34. Akirtim chapi bhutani.
Akirtim chapi bhutani. Akirtim chapi bhutani.
Katayishyanti te vyayam.
Kathayishyanti devyayam.
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 No, devyayam. Kathayishyanti te vyayam.
Kathayishyanti devyayam.
Very good.
Kathayishyanti devyayam.
Good, you are improving so good. Sambhavitasya cha kirtihi.
Sambhavitasya cha kirtihi. Sambhavitasya cha kirtihi.
Maranadati richyate.
Maranadati richyate. Maranadati Richate.
Okay, so then here Bhagavan is again giving more warnings here to Arjuna, that look, it's just not only your own laws that you think that you're going to do, how you're also going to make laws for others. Look at the plight of others, that if you don't fight the war. So again, these things where we have to take is the duties, if you don't do it the right place at the right time or something, they've got such a kind of a cross bearing for its consequences, or the bearing the context of so many people. We may think I'm just a small fry in this 7.54 billion, in the whole world. When you do from there, I'm just sitting there like a small ant. What if I don't do nothing? No, everybody has got, you may be the real cause for this whole world to cherish. But that one seed that you might have sown, in St. Ives, in somewhere in your street, what you've done, that will be the good thing for the whole cosmos. You never know. So that has got such a thing. That's what Krishna is saying here through Arjuna. So he says, Cha, and that is why he's saying Bhutani. Here, Bhutani means all the living worlds, all the cosmos. Bhutani, te, we need to say of yours, not fighting. Te, avyayam. Here, avyayam here means this law, avyayam akirtim. The avyayam is an adjective. Avyayam is actually an adjective to akirtim. Avyayam akirtim. That is, by you not fighting it, that Duryodhana and all these people who may, you may rule this for a long time, that it is going to probably become worse than Kali Yuga. Put it that way. Right from they are all in the Dwapara Yuga. So he knows if this is not fought, even a Kali Yuga cannot come. You're going to become very worse. So that's what he is thinking. Avyayam akirtim, that will be ever written, that because of Arjuna not having fought the war, we are all suffering. Akirtim, and api katayishanti. Katayishanti. See now how Ravana is being known for that only akirti. Though he had kirti for so much, he had such a amount of kirti, but that akirti, that wrong action he did. Right? So same thing, akirtim katayishanti. That it will be said for ages to come, that it will never get erased. That you will leave such amount of bad name for yourself, not only just like that, for suffering also for the whole world. Katayishanti. And Krishna says, Cha, number 8. Number 9, Sambhavitasya akirtihi maranat atirichyate. So he says, and that person having earned that great honor, like you, Sambhavitasya akirtihi, that disgrace, that you have got so much as a Dhananjaya, but now you go to Sambhavitam, that akirti. This kind of akirti, maranat atirichyate. Even from a death will not be able to quell it or dispel with that one. And it's not only the papam that you carry forth, that the kind of a name and the fame and the everything that you leave behind in history will never be able to be wiped off. So that's what is a kind of danger he's saying, and placing him in that pedestal. Okay. Okay. So Jayashri ji, you want to chant the next one? I'll just unmute 1 second. Yes, I've asked you to unmute. You can, okay, good.
Yeah.
Bhayad ranadu paratam.
Bhayad ranadu paratam. Bhayad ranadu paratam.
Mamsyante tvam maharatha.
Mamsyante tvam maharataha. Mamsyante tvam maharataha.
Yeshan chatvam bahumataha.
Yesham chatvam bahumataha. Yesham chatvam bahumataha.
Bhutva yasya silaghavam.
Bhutva yasasilaghvam. Bhutva yasasilaghvam.
Very good, very good. So, Cha, and Krishna is continuing again and again now here. Okay. Yesham, number 2. Yesham. Okay. Of whose opinion this Yesham here is now going to refer to Duryodhana, the Duryodhana and the Kauravas. Yesham, Tvam Bahumataha. Yeah, Tvam Bahumataha means you've got so much of name and fame so far in you, with you, an esteemed warrior like you, because Bahumataha Bhutva. Bahumataha Bhutva, Tvam Bahumataha Bhutva, that though you have got all this name and everything, Bahumataha Bhutva means you have been like a Dhananjaya with, he has got so much of name. Bhutva, what is going to happen for you? Lagavam yasyasi. Lagava means like a meekness, that niche, itna kameen, kamzur, the lagavam yasyasi will fall into, everything will be into. By whose? By the opinion of Yesham means here, Yesham is the Kauravas, the opponents, your opponents. Lagavam Maharataha, that great Maharatha like the Karna. Here Maharatha means Desham Maharatha. That Maharatha like Karna and all those people, Tvam, number 9, Tvam Bayat Ranat Uparatam Mamsyante. They Maharatha, that Karna and Duryodhana Maharatha, but still, Bhishma. Why Bhishma also? Bhishma, you won't be able to go see Bhishma. Bhishma may curse him, because Bhishma wants him to fight. So Maharataha Tvam, of you, what he will say, Bhayatranat Uparatam Vamsyante. That you have gone away, ran away from the wheel like a complete coward, a cowardly, meekly person, that they think you are not even a man. So that kind of a poor and a bad thing that you won't be able to even face them, even if you're alive or dead. So that's again is a kind of a warning. These are all Krishna's giving him warning. Okay. Next one. Srividya. Yes, how are you, Ji? You want to chant? Long time. Nobody has, we are missing you. Where are you? I've asked you to unmute. No?
Okay. No, I unmuted myself.
Okay. Number 36. Avachavadamscha bahun.
Avachyavadansha bahun. Avachyavadansha bahun.
Vadishyanti tavahitaha.
Vadishyanti tavahitaha. Vadishyanti tavahitaha.
Nindantastava samartyam.
Nindantastava samarthyam. Nindantastava samarthyam.
Very good. Tato dukkataram nukim.
Tato dukkhatarannukim. Tato dukkhatarannukim.
Okay. So again, Krishna is giving him more, that tava, number 1, tava ahitaha. Ahita means enemies. Enemies. All these Kauravas and all this. Tava ahitaha. Number 3, tava samarthyam. Of your all this ability, your capability, that you are a man who can fight with both the hands, all of them, Purushar Shabahar, all this kind of, all this samarthyam, that you have got it from Dronacharya. Tava samarthyam nindantaha. They are going to really abuse with all words that you won't even be able to take. Nindantaha. And then what else? Bahun avachyavadam. And avachyavadam means that cannot be spelled out from the mouth. Such a foul words that you cannot even think. That kind of a words, bahun avachyavadamscha vadishyanti, that they will be speaking of such bad words that you will not be, and Krishna is indirectly telling you will have to listen to that. You can't run away. Wherever you go, that words will come and haunt you. Vadishyanti, that is tava ahitaha, tava samartyam, nindantaha, Okay, Nindantaha Bahun Avacha Vadamcha Vadishyanti. And Krishna is saying number 10 and 11 and 12. Tata Dukkataram Nukim. What is more sorrowful than the sorrow that you now think they will die? These are the words that are the most sorrowful for you today. That anything that you may think that it will be there. So they've spoken, and imagine all this Krishna has now addressed his words of what he spoke in chapter 1, 33, 34. There he said, oh, by we finding where is the thing, how will we get out of the papam? But as Krishna has now completely told him, now look, this is the sin if you will get if you don't do, and this is the reason from Swadharmam. And then he says that what will happen to the, you remember all those things, how it is not befitting, how is now he's completely told him with reason how he by, so instead of giving him that reason, he has given him through the proper knowledge and this Swadharmam and through a karma yogam that Bhagavan is giving from a Kshatriyas. For all that questions of first chapter is answered in these ones. That is why Krishna has to give not just only the warning but to give that one. So we'll just do one more and then we will finish. Only one more. Okay, Ji?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ganapati Ramanji, you want to say?
No. Okay.
Hato va prapsyasi swargam.
Hato va prapsyasi swargam. Hato va prapsyasi swargam.
Jitva va bhokshase mahim.
Jitva va bhoshyase mahim. Jitva va bhoshyase mahim.
Tasmad uttishta kaunteya.
Tasmat uttishta kaunteya. Tasmat uttishta kaunteya.
Yuddhaya krita nischayah.
Yuddhaya krita nischayah. Yuddhaya krita nischayah.
Okay, so the last one we'll do and finish. Okay, so here Krishna says, look, even so, having now put him everything in the other side of the context, what will happen if he fights or if he doesn't fight in a very one. And the last one I want to say here is Hatahava. He's just giving him because he did mention in the before Kataranno, because he said that Nachaitat Vitmak Kataranno Gariya Yadva Jaya Yadiva no Jayayuhum Yane Nahatvar Jivishavaha Te Vastita. He said that we do not know what will happen if I. He says, even if you take, so Krishna is indirectly answering that one. Nachaitat Vitmah Katarno Gariyaha Yadva Jayeva. That one is answering here. Yes, even if you put it in that one. Hataha. Hataha means what? Here, Hataha, that if you get killed, va, Hataha, if you think that you get killed, va, just or, number 2, Swargam Prapsyasi. Hatahava, Swargam Prapsyasi. If you get killed in the war, don't worry, Swargam Prapsyasi. You directly go to Swargam. And the other eventuality, 5 and 6. Jitvava Mahim Bokshase. If you win, you are going to enjoy this Mahim, this whole earth. Bokshase, you are going to enjoy. So in both ways, you are winner. You are a win-win situation for you to fight. So he says in both ways. So don't have to worry. Tasmat, so Arjuna, Tasmat, Kaunteya, Arjuna, Yuddhaya, Kritanishchayaha Uttishta. So now have a complete resolution that for Yuddhaya, for this Dharma Yuddhaya, Kaunteya, Kritanishchayaha, that I will be going to execute this with a complete determination, conviction. Uttishta, arise, awake, and you do your duty. This is how Krishna says, and we will probably finish with today's one. Okay. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyodhyayah Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat. Atam Gita Mahatmyam. Okay, I will just share it if you want. Devinaji, you're there? Ah, yes. I'll ask you to unmute. Okay. I'm asking you to unmute. So you can unmute. Okay. Just chant after me slowly. We'll just chant 2 or 3. That's all.
जी जी
Okay. Okay. See this one. Darovacha.
Vacha.
अच्छा where is it
Huh?
Dharovacha
Yeah,
sorry
yeah.
yes
Yeah,
yes
yeah.
I got
Darovacha.
Dharovacham
Bhagavan Parameshana.
Bhagavan Parameshana
Twice.
Bhagavan Parameshana
Bhaktiravya Vicharini.
Bhakti Ravya
Vicha.
Vicharani Vicharani
Bhaktira.
Bhakti Bhakti Bhakti
Yabicharini.
Vyabhicharini
Very good.
Vyabhicharini
Ah, very good. Prarabdam.
Prarabdham
Bhujyamanasya.
Bhujyamanasya
So take it together.
Prarabdham
Prarabdam Bhujyamanasya.
Prarabdham 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 Bhujyamanasya
Katam bhavati he Prabho.
Katham Bhavati He Prabhu Katham Bhavati He Prabhu.
So Daro is, Bhuma Devi, So the Bhuma Devi is asking Krishna or, Vishnu Bhagavan. This is from the Varaha Puranam. I forgot the thing. No, not Varaha Puranam. Varaha Puranam only, I think so. Yeah, because Varaha Puranam, when Vishnu, got the earth from the ocean and when he was going in the travel, and at that time, Daro, the Bhuma Devi is asking, I think it is Varaha Puranam, I must be right. 1 second. Then the Bhuma Devi is asking Mahavishnu, I've got all these people in this Bhumi. How about them? Ah, yes, Varaha Purana. It is here. Shri Varaha Purane. You see this one?
Yes.
Shri
Yes.
Varaha Purane Gita Mahatmyam. So in Varaha Puranam itself, she is asking. And see, Varaha Bhagavan Avataram is long before Krishna's avatar. Right? At that time itself, Krishna said, look, my Gita Shastram. So Gita Shastram was there then also. That's what I'm saying. Because in Gita, Bhagavan will say that this Shastram was imparted to me at the time of creation to Surya Bhagavan. Then it has been practiced all the time. Only thing, the words in which he has put it maybe is different. So the Gita Shastram, so what I wanted to kind of say, this Gita Shastram did not just only originate at the time of what Krishna said. It has been there right from the first avatar. And Krishna says that is why. That is why. Otherwise, you should think about how did Varaha Puranam comes Gita Shastram. Gita came after Krishna, isn't it? But that time also, he is told Dara Devi, that is the Bhuma Devi. See, whatever happens, because Prarabdha means, the environment obstacles that we have, how can we get out of this particular chain of Sukha Dukkham? So Krishna, that time, Mahavishnu says, having the Dara Devi, Bhuma Devi, in his, he was like a bear bowing that earth in him. So at that time, he's telling. So imagine Dara Devi is right before his mouth. So it comes from him, Prarabdham Bhujyamano hi.
Prarabdha Bhujyamano hi. Prarabdham Bhujyamano hi.
Gita Bhyasa Ratha Sada.
Gita Bhyasa Sarat Sada.
Gita
Bhyasa
Ratha
Sarata
Sada.
Sada.
Very good. Samukta Sasuki Loke.
Samukta Sukhi Loke. Samukta Sukhi Loke.
Karmana no palipyate.
Karmana no Karmana no palipyate. Karmana no palipyate.
Very good, very good. So there again, Vishnu Bhagavan said, they see that though, yes, you got all these pratibandham, prardham, like pratibandham means, this is inborn, nobody is without any obstacle. And though it is there, but the one who has always been practicing this Gita Abhyasam by, Kayakam, Vachakam, Manasam, this little bit of a puja, a little bit of a Krishna Arpanam, little bit of this particular duty bound and everything, Samuktaha, he automatically gets released. Don't, okay, at the point of Abhyasam itself, because they will automatically fall off these kind of obstacles, and because they are only relative in nature. And sukhi loke karmana nopalipyate, that in these actions, whatever he do with this shastram abhyasam, they will never afflict him with both papam or punyam, both of them. That's all I wanted to say. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Om
Hari
Tat
Om.
Sat. Okay.
Om Tat Sat.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari